This is a test and demonstration of the TRM Sensors Optical Leak Detection Probe. It is Tuesday, November the 8th, 2016, and the temperature in the lab is 71 degrees Fahrenheit. So before we start the test, just a little explanation of what we have. This is the actual optical probe. It's manufactured by TRM Sensors. It has a little clear plastic nose cone. That's the actual sensor portion. The way it works is by sending a beam of light from inside the sensor body. It's refracted by the plastic nose cone and detected by a photodiode inside the body of the sensor. As long as there's nothing but air around it, it doesn't cause any response. But if you put water and oils that we'll be testing today, the light is scattered and does not reflect back internally, and the sensor goes into alarm. There's a 3-wire connection to the optical to relay converter circuit manufactured by TRM. This particular version is running on 24 volts DC. There's also a 12 volt DC version available. And the output is a simple dry contact. It's hooked up to this meter, which will, if we do make detections, it'll go from the word open to the word short, and you should hear a buzzer. So the components of the system really are just the probe, and the adapter circuit. Output is a relay contact, input is 12 volts. The rest of the hardware that you see here is just some simple lamp hardware and a mounting bracket so we can control the probe depth. It's suspended just off the surface of these little muffin tin depressions, trying to emulate what would happen if it was lowered into a double wall tank. So we're going to test 4 different motor oils, starting with 10 weight, and then we will test some 10 weight transmission oil, and finally some coolant. So what we're going to do is just add a little bit of fluid to the muffin tins, and in that case we got a response very quickly. This was 10 weight motor oil, and probably just no more than about a 1/16 of an inch deep. We'll actually measure that at the end of the test. So it resets when it comes out of the fluid. I'll wipe it off, put it back in to the next little test chamber, and now we're going to test 30 weight oil. So again, it triggered with just barely enough oil to cover the bottom of the tin, in fact not even completely. We'll move on to the next one. This is 50 weight lube oil. It looks like the response time in all these oils is probably less than 2 or 3 seconds, starting from when the oil actually contacts the probe. This last of the lube oils is 15W40. Now we'll move on to the transmission oil. It's marked 10 weight TDTO. Again, the response seems to be almost instantaneous as soon as the oil touches the probe, and the reset is essentially the same. As soon as you get it out of the oil, the system resets to the non-alarm condition. And the last one we'll try is from a container marked coolant, presumably some kind of glycol and water mixture. And again, looks like it's going to respond instantly. The last thing we'll do is just see if it's possible to measure the depth of these fluids There's very little in there, so it's not going to be a very accurate measurement. But I'm guessing it's in the range of a 1/16 of an inch or something. Just really a trace amount. About 2 millimeters in the case of the coolant. I'll try one of these oils over here. Again, about 2 millimeters. That seems to be the trip point. Is just the bare tip of this sensor. Again, you can see the nose cone, it tapers to a point, and we're just basically almost resting on the surface of the tin as if you had lowered the probe in until you felt some resistance and just straightened out the slack in the cable. So looks like it activates when only about the first millimeter or maybe 2 millimeters of the nose cone is in contact with the oil, and that allows it to reset very quickly, it looks like, because once you get it out, it resets. So I would say it's a pretty good demonstration. Test results are very favorable. It tells me that the combination of this probe with this adapter will generate a dry relay contact that switches on when in contact with the oil and switches off as soon as the oil is removed from the probe.